Hi, my dear students. This is Sachin Kumar, lecturer in Department of Economics, SVS PU College, Bantwala. Today, we are going to start a new chapter, that is Chapter 2, Collection and Organization of Data for first PU Economics students who belongs to Arts and Commerce. This is the part 1 video of the chapter. Second, we have studied some information about the statistics and economic subject matter of statistics and usage of statistics in economics in the previous chapter. Adding to that, today we are going to study about the collection and organization of data. What do you mean by collection? So collection means how the data are collected. It's like the sources of data, from where the data are collected. There are so many types of data which can be collected from several ways. There is no any particular way to collect the data. If you like, you can go for primary data, and if you like, you can go for secondary data. In primary data you have so many options, and in secondary data also you are having so many options. You will understand what do you mean by primary data, what do you mean by secondary data by looking at this video. And also organization of data. What do you mean by organization of data? Organization of data means organizing the collected values in a systematic manner. This is called organization of data. In order to understand better, you are going to organize the data. It's like in 1951 this was the population, in 1981 this was the population, so you are going to organize it. It is called as organization of data. In this chapter you are going to study about the sources of data and also types of data. Without wasting the time, let us directly switch on to the topic. Collection of data. The important function of statistics is to help the investigator to collect the required data and draw inferences. So what is the important function of statistics? Statistics will help an investigator to collect the required data. Required data means the needed data, and draw inferences. What do you mean by draw inferences? Draw inferences means draw conclusions. At the end you will get some results or conclusion. It is called as inferences. So it will help the investigator to collect the required data. So by using statistics, who is the investigator? Who conducts the survey is called as investigator, will get the required data easily by using statistics. Next point, the purpose of data collection. What is the purpose of data collection? It is to provide information regarding a specific topic or a problem. Okay, why do we collect the data? For example, one investigator is going to study about the unemployment level in Bangalore. Why he is going to study? Maybe he wanted to know that why the unemployment level is so high in Bangalore. For example, I'm saying I don't know whether it is very high or very low. So why the unemployment level is very high? He may going to study about, with many objectives. He's going to study the unemployment level in Bangalore, and he will give you a definite information. Definitely he'll going to give you information at the end of his census or at the end of its survey. It is called as inferences. For that purpose only they will collect the data. Without any reason no one will collect the data, right? If you don't have any reason, why do you collect the data? If you have any reason, with the intention only, you are going to collect the data. So with the example I will explain you these things. Take for example India's population. In 1951 India's population was 36.1. 1951, sorry. In 1951 India's population was 36.1 crores. In 1981 India's population was 68.3 crores. In 2011 it is 121 crores. And you should know that India is the second largest populated country, next only to China. And whenever anyone will ask what is the present country's population, we should say like 121 crore. Even though we are having 135 crores of population presently, but we are going to say according to the census. So last census was done in 2011. According to 2011, India's population is 121 crore. You have to mention 121 crore. As a student of economics, you should mention 121 crore only. So in these years, in 1951, 1961, why it is 1951, 61, 71, 81, why it is not 76, 65, 85? Because once in a 10 years we are going to conduct the census. Once if they conduct in 1951, after 10 year means they are going to conduct the census again in 1961. Like that, in 2011 they conducted census, and again in 2021 they are going to conduct a census. This is how India is following census system. By the values what I said, like 121 crores, 36 crores, you can understand that India's population has not remained same. The growth rate of population is in India is very high. The growing population is very rapid. You should understand it. You can understand only by looking at these kind of statistics or these kind of data. This is what advantage we are getting from statistics. The values, which was 36.1 crores of population in 1951 and now it is 121 crores in 2011, it keep on changing. Am I right? It is not same, it keeps on changing. So it is called as variables. What we are using value, it is called as variables. What do you mean by variables? The changing values is called as variables. Remember this point, the changing values is called as variables. How do we represent variables? In the textbook they have represented x by representing years, and population they represented as y. Normally we will use x, y, z only. Normally we will prefer for variables x, y, z. Each value of variable is an observation. There is 36.1 crore and 102.7 crore, 121 crore. These are the observation in different respective years. We can say that, for example, in 1991 the population of India was 84.3 crores. In 2001 it crossed 100 and 100 crores. It reached to 102.7 crores, and 2011 it reached to 121 crores. So we can easily say that this much of growth has been taken place in India only with the help of statistics. We can measure the growth rate of Indian population also. The values or the variables, what x and y are called as data. In x, in 1951, 1981, 1991, 2001, 2001, these are also data, and in population under they have given different values, it is also data. Why do we want these data? If you want to check the growth rate of population, you have to know about the previous year's data. You have to be with the previous year's data, otherwise you cannot compare, you cannot check the growth rate. Thus data help in understanding a problem by providing the required information. You can understand a problem, and it's like in the old days it was like this and now it is not like this. The situation has completely changed. You can say the only example of data. You can't say qualitatively. There should be some numerical facts, values, variables, something like that. You should include. This is about the collection of data. Now you may have doubt that from where these data were collected. How does that data comes? Whether it will come in a systematic manner? The answer is no, because the investigator will do it as a systematic presentation. He works hard. He collects each and every information by various methods, and he will organize this data as a systematic. We are going to study about how these data were organized, how these data are collected. You may eagerly waiting to know the answer. The next concept is that types of data. Here, under types of data, we have to understand one. What do you mean by investigator? The person who conducts the statistical survey is called as investigator. As I said already, we are going to study about the investigator later. So here is the answer. Investigator means the person who conducts the statistical survey, the person who is collecting the data, who is organizing the data. For him, we are going to call it as an investigator. He will do the activities like plans the survey, collects the required data, analyzes them, and finally draws conclusions. This is the main important thing that investigator is going to do while collecting the data. Something. The plans the survey. It means before data collection, he will plan in exact manner. He has to take that plan. So he will plan that before itself and collect the required data. What and all the things needed to be collected, what and all the things need the data needed to be collected, he will collect that only and analyzes them. Finally, after collecting the data, he will analyze and he will prioritize, categorize something, and finally draws conclusion. Based on the collected data, he will come to a conclusion, inferences, and he will state like this. And types of data. Under types of data, we have two types. Those are primary data and secondary data. What do you mean by primary data and what do you mean by secondary data? For you guys, it is you are studying for the first time primary data, secondary data. It comes under research and all. So today we are going to study about only primary data, not secondary data. In the last class, my video was very big, so I don't want to make my class as boring class. So I will take only primary data today. Moving to the next slide. What do you mean by primary data? Data collected by investigator himself or herself for a specific purpose. Here, data is collected by an investigator, directly by an investigator himself or herself for a specific purpose. Here, the investigator is going to field to collect the data. He is actively directly involving in collecting the data. Then only we can call it as a primary data. Please note this point in your class point book. This is very, very important for your examination. The must and should question is, what do you mean by primary data or what do you mean by secondary data? You should know the answer. Data collected by investigator himself or herself for a specific purpose. And another meaning is there. The investigator, it means the person who collects the data, may collect the data by inquiry or investigation. Such data are called as primary data. This is what given in your textbook, and the definition I given is little easy, so I given this definition. And in order to understand what do you mean by primary data, I have given an example also. Data collected by a student for his or her thesis or research project. In the higher studies, students will have research subjects or thesis like that. So at that time you have to collect the data. For collecting data, you will involve directly and you will go directly to the specified location to collect the data. So then only it can be called as primary data, and you can understand primary data only when you know the answer of secondary data. I'll give you just the meaning of secondary data, even though I'm not going to start you secondary data in this class. Secondary data means it's collected by some other person and we are using that. It is not collected by us and it is already there is secondary source, it's not a primary source. Those data that have been already collected by others for different purpose they may have collected, but we are using. For example, as I given population data from 1951 to 2011, it is collected by some other purpose, but while making thesis we are using it. It is also secondary data. Here under primary data we have three methods, and three methods means by three methods we can collect the primary data. Those are personal interview method, mailing questionnaire method, and telephone interview method. Personal interview method, as you all know, it means directly by face to face we are going to ask the question. And mailing questionnaire method means we will prepare one questionnaire and we will mail to the respondents. And telephone interview method means, as you know, interviewer will ask the questions to the respondents via telephone, cell phone, whatever it is. So I'm giving just meaning of these three methods. In the next class I will explain you briefly about the personal interview method, mailing questionnaire method, and telephone interview method, and the features of these three methods. And that features is also very important. So while coming to the next class, please come up with some knowledge about personal interview method, mailing questionnaire method, and telephone interview method, or secondary data. And also don't forget this. And today I want to make a short video from today onwards. Last time it was very big, it was 36 minutes, so within 20 minutes I'm going to wind up this video. So see you in the next class. Be studying and don't stop your study, and at least give for 10 to 30 minutes for economics. This is what I can say. Okay, thank you. See you in the next class. Bye bye.